In a quiet seaside town in South Korea, Hana was born with a spark that lit up the world around her. Her laughter was like wind chimes, her dreams as vast as the ocean she gazed at every evening. At 18, she was on the cusp of something extraordinary, her heart full of hope, her mind buzzing with plans to study abroad, maybe in America, where she felt an inexplicable pull. But fate was cruel. A sudden accident, a car skidding on a rain-slicked road, stole her breath before she could chase those dreams. Hana died, her soul tethered to a world she wasn't ready to leave. Across the ocean, in a small American town, Ethan grew up with a restless heart. He was charming, kind, with a smile that drew people in, but something was always missing. He couldn't name it. A hollow ache, like a melody he'd forgotten the notes to. As he moved through his 20s, Ethan's relationships crumbled one after another. There was Sarah, who left after a string of strange misunderstandings. Lost keys, canceled dates, whispered arguments Ethan swore he didn't start. Then came Mia, who felt an eerie chill whenever she stayed over, as if someone was watching. Every partner sensed it. Ethan's heart was already claimed, though he didn't know it. Unbeknownst to Ethan, Hana's spirit lingered. Her soul, bound by a cosmic thread to her destined love, had followed him across continents. She didn't mean to sabotage his life, at first. But every time Ethan grew close to someone, a pang of jealousy, sharp and unyielding, surged through her. A flicker of her will would knock a phone off a table, erasing a crucial text. A whisper of her presence would sour a romantic moment. She couldn't bear to see him with anyone else, yet she couldn't reach him, trapped in a limbo of longing. Ethan, now 27, was tired. His latest breakup left him hollow, sitting alone in his apartment, staring at the stars through a cracked window. On a whim, during a rare meteor shower, he whispered a desperate prayer to whatever gods might listen. Please, let me find my soulmate. Let me love. Let me be happy. The sky seemed to pulse in response, a faint glow rippling across the heavens. In that moment, something miraculous happened. The gods, or perhaps the universe itself, heard him. In a quiet alley in Busan, where Hana had taken her last breath, a soft light shimmered. Hana's spirit coalesced, her form reshaping into the woman she would have been at 27. Willowy, with sharp eyes and a quiet strength. Her beauty deepened by the years she'd never lived. She gasped, air filling lungs that hadn't breathed in nearly a decade. She was alive, impossibly, but the world had moved on. Hana stumbled to her family's home, her heart pounding with hope. But the faces that greeted her were strangers' faces. Her parents, older now, stared at this woman claiming to be their long-dead daughter. They didn't recognize her. Not her voice, not her face, not the desperate plea in her eyes. Hana is gone, her mother whispered, tears falling as she closed the door. Hana stood on the doorstep, the weight of her isolation crushing her. She had no money, no identity, no one. Just a name, Ethan, and a pull in her chest that told her he was out there, across the sea. Depression sank in, heavy and cold. She wandered Busan's streets, sleeping in cheap hostels when she could scrape together enough from odd jobs, washing dishes, folding laundry, anything to survive. But the spark that had defined her wasn't gone. She began to plan. America was a world away, but she'd find a way. She scoured libraries for information, learning about visas, flights, anything that could get her closer to Ethan. She took on extra shifts, saved every one, and taught herself English phrases from old textbooks. At night, she'd whisper to the stars, "I'm coming, Ethan. Wait for me." One day, she overheard a group of backpackers talking about a work exchange program in the U.S. It was a long shot. Her lack of papers made everything harder, but she applied, forging what she could, driven by a fire she couldn't explain. Months later, a letter arrived, a temporary visa, a chance. Hana clutched it, tears streaming down her face. She was going to America. Meanwhile, Ethan felt something shift. His dreams were vivid now, filled with a girl he'd never met, her laughter like wind chimes, her eyes pulling him toward something he couldn't name. He didn't know she was coming. He didn't know she'd already changed his life. But as Hannah boarded a plane, her heart racing with hope and fear, the universe hummed softly, aligning two souls who had always been meant to meet. Their story wasn't over. It was just beginning.